Hey, Burger. How's it going? Yes, oil painting. Also, let me know if the sound is okay. If music, voice, balance is cool. Thanks. Good evening, Winsor. Cool. Cool. Just want to wipe some of this down. I don't need it to get quite so dark. Yeah, brush strokes are brush strokes and scratchy pen nibs. I love those. And I don't know who all was here when we had done that pencil sketch of the pirate girl getting in the fight with the naval captain dude. And then I did a little Procreate sketch of like just her face that I posted on Instagram. So that's the face that I want to paint tonight. So at any point, y'all can just hit ref and you'll get the link. It's the link to the image that I'm referencing for our painting. I'm going to push it though. I'm going to push the cools a bit. So I added Payne's Gray onto my palette specifically so that I can push into the cools without having a true blue on the palette, right? Still very limited. My transparent iron oxides, white and olive green, and now Payne's Gray. All right, that's a little better value-wise. You don't want to go too dark, right? Don't want to fight against it, but I definitely wanted to kick it way down from white, so. I may also add a lighter background at some point, just to frame her out more, because she's got that like mane of dark hair, right? And so I might just to kind of like emphasize that hair a bit, I might go with kind of a light background at some point, but we'll see. We'll see how far we get. No idea. Clean off our brush and then block in a little sketch here. Can use a long filbert. It was just a synthetic from the Evergreen line from Rosemary. So it's a kind of a fun one to sketch with. I'm doing well, Viscera. I am doing well. Been busy at work, but that's okay. I prefer that to being uber slow. Most of the time. I've got plenty of stuff I could work on outside of work, so, you know, I also wouldn't mind if it was slow. But slow means that we're not getting as many projects in, and that's not a good thing. So I would rather it be on the busy side. But I'm also trying to wrap stuff up, like some projects that are going on outside of work. And once I can do that, I will get back to streaming 2 nights a week at least, I think. Hello, Blooming Zonda, and welcome. You know, it's funny, I'm doing the same thing that I did when I did this Procreate thing. Afterward, I had to nudge her over to the left because she was too far to the right. Like no, she might as well be centered if we're going that way. And I'm about to do the exact same thing here. So let's make sure, you know, let's not fuck that one up. And I'm, you know, throwing caution to the wind here, and we're listening to the Red Dead soundtracks, so the scores. But I took all the lyrical songs out because those are usually the ones that get dinged. But I was just, you know, I was feeling these scores today and didn't really feel like stopping them, so whatever. Might switch to a square brush here pretty quick to just, I don't want to worry about the little drawing details yet, you know. I'd rather kind of focus on the larger shape, so I think I might switch my brush here. It's too early to worry about the little details. Plus, I feel like it takes longer to block stuff in if I'm focused too much on the drawing. Especially because those little details you can get into much later, right? We don't need to worry about them right now. Especially as I'm working on my value grouping, right? That's where, I mean, I could draw the shadow shapes, but why not just paint them, right? We're not doing a drawing. We're doing a painting. How's everyone doing tonight? Anything new and exciting happening? Okay, debating. Yeah, Blooming, do I know you from Pink Eye's stream? Is that? Yeah. Yeah. Give ourselves a little room to play with there. Yeah, Visser, it was kind of depending on how work went as far as whether I'd, you know, be streaming this week, but I was like, no, I really want to stream, mostly because right now this is the only chance I have to oil paint. So I'm like, I want to do it. It's really tough during the day if I'm doing digital or something. I'm like, oh, I just want to do oils. I want to make a painting I can hold. Some of these shapes I'm doing knowing that I will cut back into them with the lights, right? So one thing I've noticed is how much my pencil technique influences my oils, right? Because it's sort of just how I've gotten used to seeing is kind of working from dark to light, right? So starting with a darker tone and then bringing in lights. And one of the nice things with that is that it allows me to kind of keep a bit more transparency in the shadows, which I enjoy. You know, it's a nice option, at least, right? You can always go more bold with the shadows later on, but it's nice to kind of have the option to do that. Keep some air in there if you want to, you know. Martest, what's up? Oh yeah, who all are streaming? I think Cryo is streaming, right? Oh, Sariana too? And Arthurigus? Nice. Yo, incredible hunk. What's up, dude? How's it going, my friend? Anyone just popping in, you can hit !ref and you'll get a link to their reference image that I'm working on. Just FYI. Yeah. So that's a little digital painting, a little digital sketch that I had done not too long ago. Figured, let's paint it. Right. It's my favorite way to use Procreate, to be honest, is just to create reference for myself. Right. But I will probably push the cools a little bit more because I did add Payne's Gray onto my palette today. So I think I'll see what I can do with that. But that's something that I kind of want to nudge around. I don't want to go too crazy right off the bat because you can't. It's hard to take that stuff back. You know, especially if you want to keep any kind of transparency. So I'm gonna kind of eke my way into those cools. Yeah, Hunk, it's such a great tool for that. You know, especially because there's so many good like natural media brushes available for it that, you know, kind of can capture some of the vibe that you might want to get in the finished piece. Oh, no buffering. Let's see here, shadows. Oh, raid. Oh, Jemmies. Jemmies. I know Autumn was saying stuff. What's up, my friends? I was not expecting a raid so soon. Welcome. We're doing some oil painting tonight, as we have been for a little while. I wish I could show you all the other stuff we do, but for now we can do the links, right? And if you specifically want to see some art, you can check out ArtStation. Thanks for the raid. Jemmies, what were you working on? Please show us. inquiring minds would like to see. Is this an inside joke? I love pineapple on pizza. I'm just going to say that right now. I know my California is showing, but whatever. Born and raised. I don't care. It's so funny how passionate people feel about it, one way or the other, you know? They either hate it or they're like, yes, pineapple on pizza. Thank you. Yeah, we're just so for all the raiders, first of all, welcome and thank you. If you want to see, I had created this little piece of ref in Procreate, so that's what I'm using as reference for what I'm painting right now. Because, you know, make your own... No, pizza with pepperoni, pineapple, and jalapenos. Love it. Makes me happy. So now y'all can see what I'm referencing here. And you can be in the know. We had done a pencil drawing a while back on stream of this pirate girl who's just, you know, got this one knife and she's clearly just fucking owning this like naval captain who has his, you know, saber and, you know, a full saber, and she's just clearly a uber badass with a knife. Belle Noire. I didn't even see what... Watch it, guys. Autumn's on a tear tonight. Do not step out of line. Hey, Cammy, what's up? How's it going? Thank you. Thank you. I've been having a ton of fun, and it's been great to finally feel comfortable again with them. Because it took me a little while. I was like, no, I know this stuff, but I just wasn't used to using a real brush. So, hey, thanks for the... Oh, a gift sub. Look at that. Also, I'm sorry. Everyone, Visual Nomad, Ghost Monks, Jemmies, Fades 1K. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Sorry, I got all sidetracked with stuff and I forgot to give you all my thanks and my appreciation. No dying. No dying, people. We should get some dark accents in there. What manner of brush shall we use for these? Might heat up the accents a little bit. It's good to have your deep darks be on the warm side. For whatever reason, cool, like when you get into really dark darks, accents and stuff, cool darks have a tendency to flatten out. Now, that's not always the case, but they do like to flatten out a little bit. Ah, that doesn't sound like fun, Cammy. Juice Gubby. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how you actually pronounce it. Thank you for the follow. Thank you. Oh, the orc nipples. Her eyebrows are going to be an important little tidbit. Right? One of the funny things to me is when you have a character who's, you know, like in her case, a pirate or any kind of like, you know, vagabond character, and then they have these like perfectly plucked eyebrows, right? One of those things we don't think about because we're so used to drawing them because all the modern day reference we use, right? But at a certain point, like, we gotta think about some of that stuff. Like, she can have makeup. Plenty of pirates wore makeup. But I don't want her to have, like, super perfect everything. She needs some character. The bomb shelter. Yo. Oh. Who say Govey? Is it who's a? Paradox. What's up, brother? No. No, Moose. I take my art far too seriously for that. Cubism is never random. Cool, cool. Enjoy your lurk. Thank you for the raid. I much appreciate it. I will be here painting away. About getting a little I'm debating if I want to jump into putting some cools in her hair and stuff to kind of start pushing some of that color around, or if it's maybe a little early for that. Perhaps. Maybe. But maybe not. Maybe it's not early. Let's see what happens. A little bit of our Payne's gray over here, which is not a strong color, by the way. Payne's gray is pretty weak. So it gets overpowered by other colors pretty fast. You won't really see it till I introduce some white in here. I don't need this right now. I want to get some of these darks in here that start to kind of give me a sense of what my range, my value range can be, right? Because then this will kind of tell me, okay, how dark can I get in other areas, right? If the hair is going to be really like the darkest part of the painting, and that's kind of my bottom range, right? My bottom gauge. I feel like I should probably start knocking in some of the midtones too. I haven't really gotten into using the transparent red iron oxide yet. This has all been with a mix of transparent brown iron oxide and olive green, just to take some of the heat out. I wanted room to kind of play with some of that saturation. This, we could probably make an argument for saying this will end up being a duotone painting, right? Just because transparent brown iron oxide and transparent red iron oxide use the same pigment, they're just treated slightly different. So using them together basically gives you a monochrome painting, right? And while I was using olive green, I was really only using that to control the saturation. I wasn't throwing green into the paintings, right? So it was still basically a monochrome painting, but now with Payne's gray in here, where I'm gonna want to push cools, right? Her headband is gonna be much cooler, not just desaturated, but actually like a different color. So that's why I say we could probably make an argument for saying this will be a duotone painting, though not in the strictest sense. Typically duotones were done with black, white, and then a color. Right. Usually a pretty strong color. Most of the ones I saw would use, or that I've seen would use like black, white, and viridian, or black, white, and like cadmium orange, or something like that. Like they would, or like black, white, and some kind of crazy blue, you know. So, but we're going more subtle than that. I have to say I've been kind of learning a lot using this very limited palette, just in terms of like how little chroma we can actually get away with using and still have it feel like there's a lot of color, right? And it's helped a lot. And it's so useful for keying palettes, you know, for entire paintings, right? It's helpful to know what we can get away with. Let's do some mid-tones, but I'm gonna switch over to a softer brush that I'm promptly gonna throw on the floor. Fuck that brush. No, just kidding. I still need that brush. Good. All right. Midtones. Break out the transparent red iron oxide, because you can pretty much just use this and white and it will get you to a generalized, you know, flesh tone with like a pretty big range, right? I mean, that could be a darker skin tone right there. And then, and I do want her to have kind of slightly darker skin. I'm just not sure how dark. One thing to realize though is also how much green skin actually has in it. I don't know how much we'll worry about that with this because we're not going full color, but it might be a little. I don't mind going a little darker, honestly. This can work. I almost painted a goblin tonight. I was like, no, I want to paint the pirate girl. But I have this little goblin guy I want to paint as well. Same thing. I had done the I'd done a painting in Procreate with that purpose in mind, you know. And I forgot about him. I forgot that I had painted him. So this is where I don't preserve my lights, especially not when I'm oil painting. I like to paint those lights on top. I might leave a little bit of something sometimes, but generally I like to. So this is kind of a spur of the moment decision, by the way, of going maybe a little darker with the value of the skin. So I'm going to have to go and darken some of those shadows to compensate. But I figure I might as well get some mid-tones in here. still trying to think of this mostly as a monochrome painting, so like trying not to worry too much about what the actual temperature modulations might be in the skin, though I'll probably get into some of that where I can, just because why not? If we have the ability to do that on our palette, we might as well, right? Not a catch-a-fiendster. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're painting up this pirate girl that we had sketched on stream a while back, and then I did a little Procreate sort of embellishment of. Yeah, there's the reference. One of the things that I've been finding that I love with this walnut oil gel is just the fact that it adds, one of the purposes of walnut oil is to add gloss to the paint, right? But then I've had this pile of walnut oil gel sitting on my palette for probably 2.5 weeks maybe, and it's still like I can still dip right in and use it, but the nice thing is it dries a lot faster now, so it doesn't necessarily make my painting take forever to dry, so that's kind of fun. I'm like, okay, good to know. I can kind of leave this stuff on here accordingly depending on whether I want it to lengthen the drawing time or not, you know. No. Fiendster, you don't always have to you don't always have to do an underpainting. That's just how I like to work. But there's no reason you couldn't kind of go right into some more finished mark making if that's what you want. Blooming, I haven't noticed it going rancid like the walnut oil does. Like walnut oil, I will always keep in the fridge so that it doesn't go rancid. But the gel, I haven't really noticed anything. So hopefully, I mean, I'm probably not going to leave this on my palette for too much longer. get a bit more paint on some of these spots here. Hey, R Frosty, what's up? Yeah, we're what, an hour in? I'll take it. Come back and work on those eyebrows. Now isn't really the time to nitpick those little tiny shapes, you know? Oh, thanks, man. And thank you, Blas. I appreciate that. I'd gotten a little too chalky, I guess, more so than I necessarily wanted to with the reference, but I didn't really care because it was like, you know, just more than anything, it was for value, the reference, right? I didn't know what I would want to do color-wise, if I'd want to go strict monochrome or what when I was painting that reference, so I'm pretty sure I was doing it just to kill some time over the Christmas break. Figured I'd leave some room to have some fun with the oils and make some decisions, hopefully good ones. We'll see. All right, so because I have the tendency, I know my own process, and I have the tendency to go too light when I'm painting, because I'll just keep lightening and lightening and lightening because I'm so used to working as a sketch artist in pencil, and we go right up to white all the time. But for painting, want to control our values more than that. So I do have the tendency to go too light, which is why I've been working on darkening before I lighten. Like if I want something to feel lighter, I first try darkening the stuff around it so that hopefully it'll feel lighter without me having to go too close to white, right? Because that's when we start to lose chroma, and we can only go so light before we just blow out all our color. So but I haven't gotten into the lights yet either, but I'm trying to kind of hold off on that for just a little bit longer. Oh, gradient maps. I have not really gotten into using those. Autumn is really good with gradient maps. I think I haven't quite sat down and tried to understand them. Never mind, he's tried to explain them to me many times, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna paint it in. Every time. Yeah, I'm just gonna paint it in. It's cool. No, I started to kind of understand them more. I forget what I think it was when Procreate introduced them, and I was just messing around with them in Procreate. So I was like, oh, okay, I get it, but I guess it's one of those things too where there are a couple different ways to arrive at those conclusions, and some of them are a little more manual, I guess. And I enjoy the more manual methods. I'm trying to decide what I will do here next. If I want to get into the lights, I might. But I think I want to finesse. Some of these darks, just a little bit. Just because the shapes, I like some of the forms that I have in that reference piece. Meaning, I like the forms. Obviously, that's why I'm using it as reference. But meaning there are some little specific things that I don't want to lose. Don't want to lose some of the shapes that we have. Yo, Jay-Z, what's up? And hello, Seek LG. Jay-Z, how you doing, brother? Hanging in there, I hope. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Luckily, Joey loves your stuff, so, you know, you're good. You're good. Alright, we're gonna get into some lights, I think. I'm trying to think ahead a little bit in terms of like, okay, if I want to start pushing the cools, right? Kind of like we have in the earring right now. How far do I want to range that out? Do I want to play with temperature shifts in the skin? Maybe. I might. I don't hate the idea. But then that's also where do I want any temperature difference, like with the teeth, you know? Like how crazy do I want to get? Normally I would, you know, take the red out of the teeth, right? And we would go more toward yellow. But while, okay, I do have Indian yellow on the palette, I'm not using it. I'd squeeze it out at one point, and then I decided I wasn't going to use it, and it's still there. And what's crazy is it's still wet, and it's been on there again for like 2 weeks. But this palette also closes up, so I think that kind of helps preserve some of these paints. We'll see. I'll probably end up going... I'm going to end up going lighter on the teeth, but I want to get some of the other lights in here first, I think. Freudian slip, Jay-Z? I don't know. So there were a couple things that I was sort of challenging myself with here. One, painting smiles is never an easy thing. It's easy to do digitally, I think, but getting it right in oils is a different story. So this will be an interesting little challenge. Two, freckles. Also not an easy thing, but I was like, you know what? I love freckles. I think they're super cute, and I just want her to have some character. We're gonna paint some freckles, because why not? Our little French Caribbean pirate here. SeekLG, I actually made my own reference. So, here you go. So basically, I'd done a pencil sketch a while back. It was full figure, though. It's like her with, holding a knife, and she's basically just totally owning this, like, naval captain who has a full-on saber. But then I did a little piece in Procreate to kind of create my own reference to paint from. Yes. Imagination. Although today, sticking with the pirate theme, we're doing rum. So. Gotta get that little gap in there. Very, very crucial. One of the things when you're doing an open smile like this is don't paint every single tooth. Generally all you need is to hint at the gum line and you're good to go. Maybe if you want to break them up a little bit, try and just use value to do it, right? Not, you don't want to rely on lines. It'll just look creepy. Standing up. Thank you for the follow. I could do. I don't want. I thought about what to do. Like, do I want to mess with the teeth and stuff? I don't know. I don't know. Not particularly. I don't think. But there is some stuff here that I'm liking. The soft edge that I have. Some of these areas. It's kind of nice. It's nice. Yeah, it probably would have just been some kind of sawbones doctor, right? Shit. Shit. And of course, the hard part creating reference digitally is that you can do much smaller details than you could ever do with traditional. But we'll see. We can make it work. I probably have a smaller brush than this if I need it. But I don't think I will. I don't think I'll need it. There's no point going too small. Cam Strokes, thanks for the follow. Alright, now let's get back to getting some more lights on the skin here. And I probably will play with some temperature at some point. I'm just not sure exactly where yet. Buffering. None of that buffer bullshit. Well, flowers are always a good thing. At least my girlfriend loves flowers. Honestly, the stereotypical stuff, it ain't bad. I gotta say, my girlfriend loves flowers and chocolates, so you know, it's a little weird if they don't. All right, I'm trying to figure out how. I mean, you know, unless they're like allergic to flowers. But hang on. Okay. Was catching a glare on that a bit. And it was fucking with me. You know, like Valentine's Day, I don't really feel is one of the, it's like one of those where you get like a gift, you know, like I don't really feel like it's that kind of a holiday. Is it a holiday? Is it considered a holiday? I don't know. It's not a holiday, but you know, one of those days. Or I mean, maybe it's a holiday, but you know, you don't get the day off or anything like that, right? Yeah, don't buy chocolates at the mall though. Look for good chocolates. Valerie Chocolates, I believe, is in LA somewhere. You can order them online. Local, artisanal chocolates. What are good chocolates? Good chocolates are made with good quality cacao, and they don't have all the hydrogenated bullshit. And they taste delish. Disney Imagineering art. Yeah, Seek LG. I'd concur on that one. When it comes to both chocolate and coffee. By the way, I'm gonna bring some lights in. I just want enough dark to kind of play with. So she does have some sort of like, who knows, smoky, might just be coal, right? Fucking wiped onto her eyes. It's just gonna look super creepy until we get the lights on the tops of her eyelids in. But that's okay. That's part of the process. We get to point and laugh at her for a little while. Get those unplucked eyebrows going. Tony's Chocolonely. I love the packaging. It's just that old school kind of look. That's hilarious. Where is Pinky, by the way? She always asks when I'm streaming next. Alright, let's get... get some light on those eyes. Might. All right, on. Freelance work is good. I think I might swap over to a smaller brush for this. Oh, where is my... There. You, my friend. Right. Yes. Yes. Need to go a little darker on some of these shadows. I love the air and the shadows, but if I want to get any of the kind of reflected light details and stuff, then I need room to put those in without getting as light as the stuff in the lights, right? Because generally anything in the shadows, like the lightest shadows, should always be darker than the darkest lights, right? So it's always something you gotta keep in mind. Gotta kind of think about what kind of light we're painting, right? One of the 5 lights. Light, midtone, shadow, reflected light, and accents. Accents being highlights and low darks. Right? Lights, midtones, shadows, reflected light, and accents. Reflected light being in the shadows. And taco light. But never Bud Light, because gross. Hey, thanks, R. Frosty. Yeah, with the hair, you know, I generally tend to not like to do tons of detail in the hair. I like to keep it as a bit of a shape. I am going to bring in some hint of light because I want to get some of the cool highlights in her hair, but that's it. I'm gonna really keep that pretty subtle. You know what it is? This is too dark. Need that, and then I need that somehow I managed to get just the slightest shadow across the teeth in there, and it just works. I'm trying to get it to work here. Teeth are hard. That's better. That's better. Do I? Yes. Yes, I do. Of course I want to get that little highlight in the eye. Make sure our maul stick is braced. Don't go crazy. If you don't get it in basically 1 or 2 strokes, paint your darks back in and try it again. Ooh, this could be a fun place to sneak in a little bit of green. Even though it won't look like green, but it's gonna be too light, too light. So here we're just going straight, pretty much Payne's gray with whatever the hell else was on our brush before. And Payne's gray is a cool gray, so of course next to all the warms it looks almost like an indigo blue. Not as green as indigo, but you know. So it's kind of a fun contrast there of being able to get in essentially what feels like a blue without having any actual blue on the palette. Zorn would use ivory black, right, which is kind of a cool, slightly cool black, and if you mix it with white, you know, it gives you not as cool as Payne's gray, but it gives you a cool gray. So he would use that when he would use his limited palette. He would use that to get the cools, you know. And oftentimes, granted, he had a saturated red on his palette, and he had yellow ochre. I've seen it a couple ways. Seen some people say that he had like a, you know, what was equivalent to like a cad red medium, basically just like a true red. But then others I've seen where they say it was alizarin crimson. I'm not sure which. It was basically ketchup and mustard palette, so it was like alizarin crimson, yellow ochre, titanium white, and ivory black, and that was his limited palette. You must be very flexible, Moose. Congratulations. Still bit of some of this stuff comes down to just like very small or subtle turning of form, right? Just to get the features to read properly. Which is fun. I like this part where you're kind of just nudging forms around a little bit. See where we can make them go. Right. So the other challenge with smiles is making them not look like a Joker smile. Right? It's really easy for us to kind of go a little overboard and they end up looking like Joker. And we don't want that. Yeah, Zorn would use the red as a focus, but it kind of depends. Sort of depended on the image, you know? But the red was the one, like, saturated color on the palette, so... Because he could have easily gone, you know, burnt sienna instead of like alizarin crimson and been able to get most natural reds. Hey, don't claw the expensive chair. Get in. What we need. We need to get the form on her nose reading properly. I mean, it would be kind of interesting to take, you know, a different approach to the Zorn palette and put in like a hot blue instead of a hot red and do a desaturated red. I mean, it's different if you're taking that black out, but if you did do like a phthalo blue or even like an ultramarine, you know, which can go very dark, obviously. But I don't know, it'd be interesting to see what kind of range you could get. I know Hollis Dunlop uses mostly burnt sienna for his reds, and he gets an amazing range, but he has a pretty limited palette as well. Although I think he recently put alizarin, like a permanent alizarin crimson back on. Right, because alizarin crimson is a very fugitive color. That shit will fade quick, all things considered. Pip-Boy Poxy, thanks for the follow. I was going to ask if there was any relation to pink eye epoxy. Oh, clever, clever, clever. Clever. Clever girl. Oh, hi, oh, hi. Nice. That makes sense. That makes sense. By the way, everyone, that's the piece that I had painted up in Procreate, so that's what I'm using as reference. Autumn, thanks for the gifted sub to our dear Pinky. Pip. To our dear Pip. Yay, emotes. Debating if I want. I'm not going to do it yet. I was going to say I'm debating if I want a lighter background to really like kind of bring the hair out, and it gives me something to kind of play with that edge of the hair against. But I don't know. I don't know. First, let's get some light on that shirt and see how we feel. Yes, you may. I am using transparent brown iron oxide and transparent red iron oxide. I am using Payne's gray and olive green and titanium white. And this is just a mix of transparent brown iron oxide and olive green. It's just to take some of the heat out when I was doing the underpainting, because I wanted room to play with the saturation. So, yeah. I love the Payne's gray, and that's actually what you're seeing here is just Payne's gray and white with probably a little bit of brown iron oxide mixed in. So it actually looks very blue next to everything else, which is, it's fun. That's a fun range to play with. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Payne's gray. I think it's a really fun color. Not at all overpowering. It's definitely kind of a weak color. But I don't know. I like it because it's a nice dark, very cool, obviously. But doesn't overpower stuff, and so it doesn't like fuck with your other colors too much, which is really nice. And it doesn't dry all matte like blacks do, you know, like at least ivory black. I never really got into using any of the others because I stopped using black on my palette pretty early on. So so I haven't used really like Mars black and lamp black and all that stuff. I can't really say if they also dry all matte. But on the other hand, using the walnut oil gel, that adds gloss to whatever you put that in. So technically I wouldn't have to worry about that matte situation with black anymore, but you know, why use it? I don't need it. Fuck. So on the fence about the background. Yeah, I mean, you know, I know that I'm gonna, you know, varnish and stuff at some point, but I don't know. I don't like Because sometimes it'll start to mat out even as I'm working, especially because I start so thin, you know, and it's just annoying. Again, though, the walnut oil gel keeps that from happening, so I'm sure at some point I'll try using black on my palette again, you know. As David Luce always said, if black is good enough for Sargent, it's good enough for us. You know? I just don't really see the point in using it. I mean, maybe as a shortcut, right? Because it can get you to dark places very fast. But all right, let's smooth out some of these forms here that are getting a little hectic. Yeah, because, you know, the nice thing with using some of those colors, especially using them as like shortcuts, right, is that sometimes you can get to the color that you're looking for without having to necessarily use like maybe more expensive colors to get there, you know. Which is why I had added burnt sienna back onto my palette at one point, which I've now replaced with transparent red iron oxide, which I like so much more than burnt sienna. I feel like the red iron oxide is just a cleaner color. Has maybe just a little more heat to it, but it's just, and I love that it's transparent. Just a lovely color to work with. Yeah, so both the transparent brown and transparent red iron oxides are Williamsburg. Yeah. I know other companies make them, but what can I say? I'm a sucker for Williamsburg. Shit makes me happy. Williamsburg. Williamsburg. I'm gonna play with some cools in the lights a little bit. I have to figure out how I want to tackle those freckles too at some point. That sounds like a terrible idea, Autumn. Don't tempt me, Frodo. Calvin Sims art. Rating with a party of 37. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, welcome. Kata's doing some oil painting here. Which makes it difficult for me to say, hey, this is what I normally do. This is the other stuff that I do, and this is what I do sometimes. I do work as a sketch artist and illustrator in advertising, doing movie posters and TV posters and video game key art and all that stuff. That's what I do by day. By night, I like to try to not get my hands dirty with oil paints when I can. Welcome, welcome. Calvin Sims, how did your stream go? And what were you working on? And do you want to show us anything? Mammoth Rook, Chuckadin, Frisky, Llama, Queen Fluffy Butt, A.T. Ali, Brandon KS. Thank you all for the follows. Turkel, thank you for that gifted sub to Calvin Sims art. Crazy Blasian, thanks for the follow. Twisted Seraph, the Knowles, Denals, and Yo Ashley, Mattress. Thank you all for the follows. Calvin Sims, if you would like to show us any art wonderfulness, please feel free to give us some links. Throw down in the chat there. So many follows, you guys. Thank you so much. No, yeah, I was saying if you want to share what you were working on, we would love to see it. Or if it's not somewhere where you're ready to link it, feel free to link your socials or, whatever else you might want to do. We're about to get into the Undead Nightmare soundtrack, which is super fun. I love that soundtrack. Let's also get a little bit of modulation in her hair. I don't want to go too crazy with it, but ooh. I want to see. Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Dig it. Nice, man. Oh, the kids can handle it. Mine's labeled as a mature stream anyway, so if anyone can't handle that, oh, then your maturity card is revoked. Looks great, man. I dig it. Yeah, no, it's looking good. It's looking good. Yeah, D. Lincoln Art. Yeah, we do specifically entertainment advertising. I got into it kind of. I kind of lucked into it, but you know, I'm trying to think of like how one would just go about getting into it, and I don't know, portfolios, I guess, sending portfolios to ad agencies. You know, I feel like ad agencies are always kind of on the lookout for like new people they can freelance with. I mean, right now, who knows? It's a little tricky because, you know, everyone's pinching pennies and stuff. But I feel like that is one of the places where you could actually send a portfolio, and if you have good stuff, you know, there's a chance. But the other thing with being a sketch artist is like you got to be fast, and that's the thing that a lot of people don't quite take into account is like how fast you got to be to knock this stuff out. So yeah, you know, you're talking about having to get on average like five sketches done a day, and these sketches are tight enough that you have likeness, so anyone looking at it knows which actors or characters they're looking at. You know, you have lighting in there, you have the gesture, the composition, and all that stuff, and you might be dealing with 6 or 8 people in a cast, or like we did recently, 12 people in a cast. That was fun. Granted, when you have 12 people in a cast, you're not getting 5 done in a day, but you still gotta usually get 2 to 3 done in a day. So think of it as doing 24 to 36 little portraits every day. Yeah. I was gonna go light with the background, potentially, but I think I might go... Fuck, I don't know. I still kind of want to go light with the background. Maybe lighter than... Shit, we might just go white with it. I just really want to play with the edge of her hair, and I can't do it when it's that... But you know what? We're going to go like almost white with this background because it's going to key the rest of her in such a different way. Like key the lighting on her in such a different way. So for that though, we're going to do a larger brush. And we're going to put this Alexander's white to good use, Pinky. Raid! Sariana, welcome, my friend. And welcome, Raiders. Sariana, how did your stream go? If you're in here yet, it always takes me a second to switch over whenever I raid. Sariana, welcome. How was your stream? And welcome, Raiders. My name is Daniel Landerman. I am a sketch artist and illustrator in entertainment advertising. That means I work on movie posters and TV posters and video game covers and whatever else is entertaining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, Sariana. Thank you. What were you working on? Do you want to share? Please share. Links. Give us the links. Or, you know, if it's not up where you can share it, feel free to plug your socials. People, go follow Sariana. And while we're at it, go follow Calvin as well. Calvin Sims Art and Sariana. Boom. Boom. Thank you, Autumn. Thank you. I don't know if Jemmys is still lurking, but if Jemmys is here, go follow Jemmys too. Boom. That's how we do. time-honored painting trick. Don't paint all the way out to the edges. People will forgive you all kinds of looseness as long as you keep those edges loose. Ooh, let's see. Nice. Wow, you're going with some crazy lighting there. You just went full-on complementary palette, huh? Nice. Like split complement. Kind of. Well, with the purple in there, you've basically got like a triadic harmony going on, right? With the violets. Nice. Man, that is not an easy one to tackle. Good for you. It's looking dope. Oh, yeah. I still have to finish that piece, Calvin. I got sidetracked with traditional media. I haven't wanted to get back to like Photoshop lately. Though I might do some Procreate coming up here soon, but that piece is too the dimensions are too large for Procreate now, so I can't work on it. Yeah, Pinky, it's funny because if you paint all the way out to the edges, all of a sudden it makes things feel unfinished within the painting. But if you don't, for whatever reason, things don't feel that way. All right, now we get to play with the edges of her hair. Yeah, so our Frosty, that was kind of the thing, was like all of a sudden it changes her lighting, right? As soon as I throw that white in there, all of a sudden her lighting becomes more low-key, you know? Low-key lighting. That white is definitely catching some glare. Like it's almost glowing on the screen, but that's okay. We don't mind. All right, let's finesse some of these. I don't mind having some hard edges, because why not? Edge variety, right? But these edges let us kind of push and pull our form in fun and interesting ways. And what's nice is then this shows us also that we have a ton of room to play with in terms of where we can go in here, you know, with highlights. Like we're nowhere near white. Like to draw, thanks for the follow. Gotta say, I do like some of. I have this like really heavy mark there, and I like what that's doing. So we're gonna get a bit more of that in here, just because we can. Give us some fun texture. Now, normally, I would never use white straight out of the tube, right? Because typically white is going to flatten things out. But for a background like this, where, you know, it's okay to basically go just graphic with it, I don't mind. Not a big deal. So the nice thing is then I can get, especially on her little like nose ring and the earring and maybe even in her eyes, I could go hotter on the highlights and on her teeth, right? Which will then again bring the lights on her skin down without me having to do much in terms of tweaking on those. But not going there just yet. Everything is relative. Oh, the damn dress. The damn dress. Oh. Yep. Is it blue or is it gold? Now, I just sort of like indicated something. I have no idea what this was supposed to be honest. So we're just going to keep indicating. As Joseph Spuckvich always says, don't state, indicate. But he also says that watercolors pretty much paint themselves, so what does he know? When you're a badass that's been using watercolors for like 40 years, maybe they paint themselves. Maybe when you get self-painting watercolors, they paint themselves. Turn this music down a little. Didn't realize the music was quite so loud. I'm not turning it down for you guys, I'm just turning it down for me. Her big mane of hair. Hey, what you doing? When I'm oil painting, I don't want to bring my cat over because, you know, fumes and stuff. Thank you, Sari. Let's get some nice marks going on in here. Never underestimate the power of pretty mark making. The power of calligraphic marks. Really, that's where it's at. As artists, as human beings in general, we tend to like those calligraphic marks quite a bit. Right? A little bit of variety in there. That's where I don't mind showing a little bit of the drawing, you know. Hey, Tussleberry, thanks for the follow. Yeah, she's chilling on my chair behind me. So I'm sitting on my stool today. Ibra Toad, thank you for the follow. Back to our little brush. Little brush. Well, Tussleberry, now you have. So, all is right with the world. Right? Right. Alright, let's see about some slightly hotter highlights in here. Hesitant to go too hot on the ones in the eyes. It's usually a good idea not to. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. It's a good idea not to for a reason. Especially with the way her eyes are lidded, technically, you wouldn't actually get the reflection of the light source in her eyes, but we're cheating it, and we did it anyway. Yeah. Some dark here. Gotta push some of these marks around, soften them up a little bit. Too much. I also wouldn't mind getting, seeing about, with the hotter highlights, maybe getting a little bit of a sense of like, the sheen on her skin. Because, it is like, I'm imagining it is the Caribbean, so it's humid and warm and beautiful. Aw, I miss the Caribbean. Can we get this? Now I can't lay my hand on the background unless I want a palm of pure white. It's cool. It's cool. We got this. We got this. is room to play in here value-wise. I'm gonna get just a little more. Because I need to catch some light on the top of the bottom lip. But I don't want it to get too light. I just want that form to turn a little bit, so it feels like her teeth are behind her lips. And it's a very subtle thing. Threw those highlights on far too early. So goodbye, highlights. Moose, have you ever heard the writer's adage, show, don't tell? Bro. Awecentric, thanks for the follow. What's annoying is I remember I did that so easily in the digital piece, and now I'm like, fuck, what did I do? Because, you know, the digital piece, you're just kind of like scrubbing around and you're like, hey, that looks right, cool, done. And in this one, you got to be a little more deliberate. To be more deliberate. But we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm feeling it now. Just kind of seeing where I can simplify some of these shadow shapes a little more. You know? Yeah, sometimes, even as writers, there are times there's no other way, you gotta tell. And just get it over with, you know? Just grit your teeth, close your eyes, go to your happy place and get it over with. Weird. Oh. It's funny, what I love about throwing that white into the background is because before the shirt felt really bright, actually, and now it feels like linen, which is super cool. Want to darken here because she has her arms raised, kind of like to the side. So I just wanted to get. I didn't really get that in the digital piece because she was scaled up a little bit, but that's okay. We can get that in here. Although I guess that should be white, huh? Raid! Liad! Raiding with a party of 26. Hello, sir. How's it going, man? You are raiding me. I'm assuming you came from oil painting to oil painting. Welcome, raiders. Welcome. Liad, how is your stream? And what were you working on? It is super exciting. Nice. Well, Liad, if you want to share what you are working on, please feel free to link it. I would love to see. I'm debating. I don't know if I really need that white there. I might scrape it down and just let it kind of do whatever it does. We don't need you, white. Not there, anyway. Cool, cool. Yeah, take your time, man. Raiders, for anyone who's new here. My name's Daniel Landerman. I work as a sketch artist and illustrator in the entertainment advertising industry, so working on movie posters and TV posters and video game key art and all that stuff, all that good stuff. It's fun. It's a high octane industry, not gonna lie, but we have a good time. By night, obviously, I'm not doing that stuff. I've been making an effort to get back to this, you know, using a real brush instead of a digital one when I can. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the digital stuff too, but I need some balance, right? Balance, balance. Let's hit that jewelry a little bit. Actually, let's do this. Let's do this. Pop a color. We're working with a very limited palette today, by the way. And Alenza Art, thank you for the follow. Well, so Awecentric, you know, I'm working with just like super limited palette, and if color is daunting, and I agree, color can be very daunting, especially if you work traditional, right? Because you can get muddy with it, you can muck it up. But I'm working with transparent brown iron oxide, transparent red iron oxide, olive green, Payne's gray, and white. So that keeps things pretty simple, you know, and it's a pretty unified palette where you're not really going to have to worry too much about possibly like making things muddy, right? And so like this, the blue on her bandana, that's just Payne's gray, right? It's just Payne's gray with a little bit of white. So I would say if color does feel intimidating, start simple. Start with a limited palette, and you can always slowly add color as you kind of get more comfortable. Yes, Mina Morgan. She is a dirty pirate, actually. By the way, for anyone new here, ooh. Let's see. It should work. Nope. What? Due to a suspicious download? Why does it want me to download? That's weird. Oh, there. It looks like there's two links there for some reason, and it's messing with it. Maybe try. Yeah, it doubled up. So maybe get. There we go. Oh, what's that? Wait, Liad, is this what you did? Dude, this is dope. I love that palette. And I love the values. That's killer. Did you grab, what, pages from your Moleskine or something and paint on that? That's fucking rad, man. Yeah, that's killer. Right? You're painting on paper? Cool. Okay, I was gonna ask like how you sealed the paper. Yeah, dude, that looks fucking awesome. Hell yeah. Hell yes. See, so everyone go give. Yeah, I was gonna say like it has a bit of his vibe, and I mean you did a great job there, dude. Whoop, there. Yeah, it looks killer. It's so funny. I love his work. The only thing that bothers me is how little he cares about how archival it is. It's just like, no, if you're gonna put that much just like daily effort into painting, like please make it more archival. Like he doesn't give a shit about pH levels on anything, and it's like, you do such beautiful work, we don't want to lose it. So anyone who's new, that's the I painted up basically my own reference in Procreate, so that's what I'm using for this. That is my reference. Random coffee, thanks for the follow. Now I want coffee, but it's far too late because I have to actually sleep tonight. So yeah, Mina Morrigan, she is actually a pirate. I had done a drawing, if I could find it. Where is that drawing? Let's see, I bet I could find it. I could find it for ya. No, dude, it's all good. I understand. Please do what you got to do. So a while back we had done on stream this this pencil drawing. Sorry for the long ass Facebook link, but that's the best place to see it. Assuming, yeah. So that's when, you know, afterward I decided, oh hey, I'm gonna do like a close-up of her and figure out her face more. And so that's kind of what this whole thing was. Liad, thank you so much for the raid, man, and thanks for sharing that super awesome painting. Fucking love it. Congrats on that piece. Super rad. Cat hair gets everywhere. Oh, thanks, Allcentric. I appreciate that. Yeah, I, you know, who doesn't love pirates, you know? And I actually want to rework that scene, though. I started resketching it. I just need to finish resketching it because I actually wanted to get more people, like, on the sides, you know? Like, it's a big spectacle. Here she is with, like, you know, just this knife, and she's taken out this, like, naval captain who has his saber and whatnot, and she's like, she doesn't even have a cut on her because she's badass. Sariana, thank you so much for your raid as well. I hope you sleep well. Thanks for bringing your peeps over here. Thanks, Mina. I appreciate that a lot. That is one of the really fun things, I think, with Twitch, is even though it you know, is such a kind of video game community, obviously, first and foremost. I do love how much people seem to enjoy the traditional media here. I think that's really, really awesome. Makes me happy. Get that scar. So I'm debating if I want to try painting in her freckles like while the paint is wet, or if that's something I want to like glaze in once it dries, and I don't know. And one of the things that I can never resist is blending some of those values. Some more lost edges. Cobra Snake. Thanks for the follow. Okay, I gotta address this neck here. It's been bugging me for a while. It's just this like flat shape that just wasn't working. So let's get a little more happening. Pumpkin unicorn. Where are you? I don't know. You're here. Oh, did you get dropped here with a raid? That happens to me. Like I'll be on someone's channel and maybe I don't have the sound up or something. I'm doing something else and come back and I'm like, wait, where am I now? Were you on Liad's stream? Maybe? Were you watching Liad? Doing his dope-ass painting that he shared with us. I absolutely loved it. We need a little more chroma in some of these lights, right? Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, just painting up this pirate girl. Having some fun. I almost wanted to see if there was a way to like get one of her hands in here and get, you know, get the knife and stuff. I was like, nah, let's not get too clever. stay true to the original pose I had in mind and get the painting done. I do not actually. I work full-time as a sketch artist and illustrator in the entertainment advertising world. So most of my day is spent sketching or illustrating ideas for movie posters and TV and video game key art. So this stuff is more kind of what I had gone to school for. And try to do on my own time outside of work. Mostly because I don't want to work in advertising forever, right? So I'd like to have something else I could do too. I don't know what exactly I would do with, these kinds of paintings. I don't think galleries care about paintings of random pirate girls. Well, that's cool. Whatever. I don't care about them. No, I kid. I like galleries. I miss going to galleries. Probably. Actually, almost anyone on Twitch has probably seen some of my work. I had painted up the Star Wars Squadrons key art that's been floating around on Twitch for a while. That was just like a killer combination of people, art directors, concepts, EA being an awesome client, and then getting to paint that thing up was super fun. So that recently, I think the key art for the new Back 4 Blood game, but that was a huge group effort again. Like that was an insane job by the 3D department, and then I kind of painted on top. And then there's like one of the art posters for Joker, where his face is all melty and whatnot. I did that. If anyone saw the DC fandom poster for the Suicide Squad, there were two. There was an alt. But if you Google like DC fandom Suicide Squad, I think the poster comes up. I know it's on the internet. It's a crazy one where they're all running at cameras, wild, like crazy fisheye lens sort of deal. That one was super fun because I actually got to draw that from scratch because we didn't have photography to support the concept that we wanted to do, right? So we didn't have stuff at the right angle. So I actually got to start with a pencil drawing and then just paint that up, which was super fun. And we don't usually get to work that way. We usually have to work from photos because likeness is so important, right? When you're dealing with drawing actors and stuff. So, but that one went rather smoothly, I have to say. Quite fun. RG Villain, thank you for the follow. And thank you. I appreciate that. I am having a lot of fun painting her up, I have to say. Also, if I lose track of what number Borderlands is on. But the latest Borderlands game, I'd done a bunch of portraits of the characters that were kind of inspired by sort of Baroque portraits, Rembrandt and stuff. And then I did a lot of painting on the Mural of Mayhem, if any of you have seen that. If you haven't, that's another one you can probably Google. That thing was insane. That was really, though, the brainchild of the art director. He spent a long time ideating that one and comping it up, and yeah, the thing was nuts. Yeah, so then I got to basically, take the craziness that he did and make it look like a painting. So that was fun. So yes, Pumpkin, you have seen my work. Okay, I don't want to go too light on this. Originally, I was like, I want her to have darker skin, and I got to be careful not to get too light. I mean, she's a pirate after all, in the Caribbean. So, she's going to be tan and stuff, right? I want to darken some of this. Some of this stuff is too close to the midtones. We don't want that. Don't want that. Technically, if she's on the ship out in the ocean or something, there would probably be more reflected light happening, which we could maybe cheat in some desat kind of stuff. I am using an Edge paint book, RG Villain. I love this thing. They're not cheap, but as soon as I got it, I was like, holy crap, this thing is great. I love how compact it is, especially because I'm painting in my apartment, and I have to be able to break this stuff down when I'm working during the day. So the more compact and easy stuff is to break down, the better for me. Yeah, I think I got this thing like 3 years ago, maybe. I think I got it about 3 years ago. Unfortunately, in those 3 years, it has not gotten near as much use as I would have liked, but I'm trying to rectify that now. So, cool. I think you'll love it. They're so convenient. They are so convenient and just versatile in terms of the size. I got it with a glass palette, but I've since switched to using wood because I paint on a warm ground. So it just makes sense to mix my colors on a warm ground. So I ordered the wood palette from them separate, which I love. No, that was done digitally, Pumpkin. Yeah, that was all done digitally. I have the original PSD file. No, I don't tend to work in oils for work. I've done watercolors though for work before, and then when I sketch, I do pencils for work. Yeah, RG, I didn't either. I actually had to check because what I was gonna do is I was gonna basically get a palette and then cut it down to size. Then I was like, well, let me look and see. I was like, that'd be weird if they didn't make a wood palette. And sure enough, they do make a wood palette. So that made me very happy. So I'll do pencil sketches for work, and that's kind of the more or less the only time I really go like traditional there. Though, I mean, I've done all kinds of stuff randomly. You know, there are times that they're like, hey, we need this like ink washy kind of stuff. So I'm like, cool, we'll do some ink wash. And then other times they're like, we want something with mood and texture. And so then I'm like, okay, cool. Well, hey, let's do some watercolor. But most of the time, and this was not done for work, but this is a pencil drawing that's indicative of stylistically what I would do for work. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Freckles. Freckles. We can paint them in. I just wonder if they would look better glazed in. You know? So that they don't... Because if I paint them in, it's going to dig into the paint that's already there. And I really feel like they would look better glazed in. I just hate to have to wait to finish that. But you know what? That's oil painting for you. We can't have all our toys right now. Sometimes we gotta wait. I had also done a bunch of painting on the Mafia Definitive Edition, right? So it was like Mafia 1, 2, and 3. I always forget about those. There was one point where I think I was working on like 6 or 7 illustrations at once, and it was just like I'd do a round of revisions on one. We'd send it out, I'd bounce over to the next one, bounce over to the next, bounce over to the next, and then the first one would come back, do revisions on that. And it was just like, and the craziest part was that, you know, everyone wanted their own kind of unique look. So I'd have to remember like, okay, what was I doing on this one? Like, so I had to separate out the brushes that I was using in Photoshop to make sure that they didn't overlap too much. And because at a certain point, like, there's only so much you can do you know, to hide your hand. Not that I was really trying to, but it still couldn't look like the exact same thing because the games were coming out at the same time, like all these different things that I was working on. So, you know, it needed some variety. What time is it? 10:21. Oh boy. I think I might have to call it here pretty soon. I want to get a little more light on her eyelids there. Not a lot, but some. Get like a little bit of a sheen, kind of. Trying to, I don't want like all these shapes and stuff to be too even, right? So I'm just trying to push and pull some of them. She does have this scar on her cheek. Might lighten that scar just a tad. Good night to girlfriend. Girlfriend. Dropping shit upstairs or something? almost there for tonight. Almost there. I'm gonna get a little bit of thank you for the follow, Kurthar73. Okay, I think because I don't really know what else I would do other than maybe alluding to some detail in that their earring. But you find yourself kind of looking around for what else to do, that's a good time to call it done. You know, if you don't know what you're gonna do, like I know I'm gonna put those freckles in, but I'm gonna let it dry before I do that. I just feel like it'll look better that way. So might it's a good idea usually to get some light on the eyebrows, right? To remember that they are a form that is wrapping around the bony ridge of the brow, and it can flatten a face out pretty quick if you don't get some kind of light modulation on them. Doesn't have to be much, just enough to tell us that there's a little more going on there. Varla Luna, thank you for the follow. I think we're gonna call it. But what I will do here, what's the best way to do this? I want to give you guys a little better look. A little better look-see. Let's see. Let me make sure that I can see. And then I will focus it for y'all. Oh, we're getting glare. Damn you, glare. Nobody likes glare. Wait, which way? There. Let's see if we can get a good close-up on her. There y'all go. kind of try and such a shallow depth of field. I'm like to hold it just right. Yeah. Yeah. So there she is. There she is. So we can bring her over a little more. I don't know if I have it in me to raid. Probably not. I think I'm gonna call it a night. Sorry to just ditch you guys and not bring you over to someone else, but I'm beat. I'm beat. Hey, thanks, Viscera. Glad you were able to make it, and all the way through too. You were here right from the beginning, so you saw the whole progression. Yeah, I will. I'm gonna try and be back on Monday night. We'll see. I've got a bit of a deadline Monday, so hopefully I can make it for Monday night. I'm gonna do my best. If not, I will be back Thursday, and then the week after we'll get back to 2 nights a week. But I'm gonna try and be back Monday, so keep your eyes open, keep your eyes peeled, and hopefully we will see you at the top of next week. Thank you everyone who hung out. Thanks to everyone that chimed in on the chat. Always a pleasure. And I will see y'all in a few days. All right, my friends. Take care and have a lovely evening, everybody. Okay? Peace.